Good afternoon. My name is Andy Hallman. Later, we'll hear about Mount Pleasant and Washington finishing 1 and 2 at the Fort Madison girls track meet. But first, today's top stories. Washington High School students showed up for Saturday's prom dressed to the nines. And thanks to Rachel Fishback, they will have professional level photos to remember the special occasion. As a proud parent to Washington High School students and a professional photographer, Fishback did not hesitate when the school reached out to her a few years ago and asked her to capture prom photos during the Grand March at WHS. Today, Fishback is a staple at Washington's Grand March. Each year, on the day before prom, Fishback meets with the student body and their advisor, Joan Hippen, as they decorate the gym. While Fishback does have a photography business, she does not charge the school or the parents to take snapshots of their students. According to Fishback, it is not easy for parents to get good photos in the gym during the Grand March due to lighting and placement. But with her setup, she can snap photos that she then shares with the parents. And as a parent herself, Fishback says she understands just how much the students and parents are already putting into prom, and that's why she does it. While her youngest, sophomore Tessa Fishback, only has a couple more proms ahead of her, Fishback anticipates continuing the tradition for years to come. City council members in Washington have unanimously voted down an ordinance that would alter trailer, mobile home, and RV parking rules in homeowners' yards. Council members say they plan to wait while a committee drafts a more nuanced version of the policy. The now defeated measure would have limited the number of trailers on a residential property at a time and made stricter rules about what kinds of vehicles could park in yards and what type of surfaces they had to sit on. The idea met with public skepticism, however, as some community members worried the rules were too restrictive. Others said it was impossible to fairly enforce. The city has formed a committee to work on the issue, comprised of Mayor Pro Tem Millie Youngquist, a few council members, and members of the Municipal Nuisance Committee. Youngquist said she'd heard some concern about the ordinance from community members, worried the policy would force them to relocate their heavier vehicles. Now that's balanced against some property owners who say their neighbors' yards are an eyesore, packed with too many trailers or with heavy vehicles that tear up the grass. All across North America, people stopped what they were doing Monday afternoon to look up at the sky to catch a glimpse of the solar eclipse, including students in the Mount Pleasant Community School District's elementary buildings. Ann Martin's fifth grade class at Salem Elementary excitedly participated in observing the eclipse as part of their studies about the Earth and space. They were able to observe the eclipse thanks to a donation of special eclipse glasses from a classroom parent. Martin also brought in appropriately themed snacks for the special event, including star crunches, cosmic brownies, sun-kissed, and starbursts. Martin took her class outside about an hour before the moon would pass by the sun and encouraged her students to create a sundial and mark their shadow with a chalk line. The day's lesson also included discussion about changes that occur to temperature, the color of the sky, and shadows during an eclipse. The Mount Pleasant Community School Board unanimously approved the 2024-25 district calendar during its meeting Monday night. Superintendent John Henriksen stated that putting the calendar together has been quite the process, as the board struggled with the school's start date combined with old threshers and winter holidays falling in the middle of the week. The approved calendar includes 175 scheduled days with nearly 1,100 hours in the classroom. Teachers will report for professional development beginning August 13th, and students will start Friday, August 23rd with a full day of school. And while the first Friday of the year will be a full day, nearly all other Fridays throughout the year will remain as early outs. As usual, the calendar allows time off for the Old Threshers reunion, with an early out on August 28th for the Harvest Day Parade, followed by vacation the rest of the week. Thanksgiving break will remain the same, with the Wednesday before and Friday following the holiday as vacation days. Winter break will begin Monday, December 23rd, with teachers returning Friday, January 3rd for professional development, and students returning Monday, January 6th. While Henriksen did not initially know if the calendar would allow for a week-long spring break, the calendar approved by the board does include a full week of no school from March 17th through the 21st. And barring extreme weather requiring makeup days, next year's school calendar will end on Thursday, May 29th. Jefferson County Ambulance Service received its third ambulance Tuesday afternoon, a major milestone for the service that just began operating as a county entity last October. Jefferson County Ambulance Service Director Brian Thomas said the new ambulance isn't ready to put into service just yet because it still needs radios. He's hopeful they will arrive in the next few days, and then the ambulance can begin responding to calls next week. Ever since switching to a county-run entity and moving into its newly remodeled space at 1600 West Burlington Avenue, the ambulance service has operated 2 ambulances plus a third emergency vehicle on loan from Libertyville Fire and Rescue. Ambulance-based Director Judy Heisel said there are times when the department needs to deploy 3 ambulances at once. For instance, just after receiving the ambulance at 1 p.m. Tuesday, 2 of the department's ambulances were out responding to 911 calls. And while they were answering questions from the media, Heisel and Field Training Officer Damian Wimmer had to respond to a third call. Heisel said having a third ambulance gives the department the ability to more easily transfer patients from the Jefferson County Health Center to other hospitals, such as in Iowa City or Des Moines. She said that if a couple of the ambulances are out on calls, then the department must refuse requests to transfer patients until their call has finished. Supervisor Dee Sandquist said the new ambulance cost about $250,000. She said the supervisors were grateful to the city of Fairfield for pitching in $60,000 toward it. The Pekin Community School District Board of Directors listened to 16 members of the public who addressed the board during its meeting Monday night, most of whom expressed frustration with the board in light of the recent resignation of Superintendent Derek Phillips. Nearly the first hour of the board's meeting was dedicated to comments from the public, and each speaker was given 3 minutes. The first 6 speakers reported comments and results from an anonymous survey of 44 Pekin staff members. The survey asked staff members if they were satisfied with the school board, the administration, and the direction the district is heading. Tracy Deal was the first speaker of the evening, and she started by reporting the results of the survey, showing that 29 of its 44 respondents were very satisfied, and another 10 were satisfied with the 23-24 Pekin administration. In contrast, 21 respondents were very dissatisfied, and another 14 were dissatisfied with this year's school board. 35 respondents said they thought the district has been heading in a negative direction during the past 5 years. Multiple speakers objected to the school board overruling the high school principal's decision to suspend a student last fall, though the name of the student was not made public. Katie Phillips told the board it was improper to overrule suspensions handed down by the administration. Other speakers, such as TLC instructional coach Johanna Neff, said she spoke to the board 2 years ago about how it was not following the proper chain of command and that it was still a problem 2 years later. Those are today's top stories. We'll take a short break, and when we return, we'll hear about the Mount Pleasant and Washington girls track teams competing in Fort Madison.
Federation Bank is a locally owned bank providing award-winning customer service. We believe that we are more than just a federation of banks, but a federation of communities, serving Brighton, Richland, Wellman, and Washington, Iowa. Federation Bank's highly skilled staff is here to make sure you are able to accomplish your personal and professional goals. whatever they may be. Federation Bank, your family bank.
Hello, this is Andy Kretzinger, your sports editor at the Southeast Iowa Union, and welcome back to Newsbreak for Thursday, April 11th, 2024. And we got a little bit of track action tonight as the area boys track teams, Cardinal, Fairfield, New London, Waco, and Washington, and Winfield Mount Union will all be going to Mount Pleasant, a big day in area track. Also, Mount Pleasant will host a girls track meet. That's a lot shorter, and no other teams besides Mount Pleasant in that one, but that will be at Maple Leaf Athletic Complex. We got some soccer tonight with Washington and Fairfield showing down. Fairfield hosts the boys game at 5 o'clock. Washington hosts the girls game at 4:30. By the way, that Fairfield host game is at the high school, and of course, Washington, as usual, is at Washington Wellness Park. Mount Pleasant teams playing against Keokuk tonight in a little soccer. We did have a little bit of track on Tuesday, and the Fairfield Boys Invitational took place. It was a smaller meet, just a few area teams, but the Trojans got 3 champions at their home invitational. Gabe Tejada is your 800-meter champion. Ryan Giberson is your high jump champion, and Caden Allison is your discus champion. Pekin came down, and they got 4 championships. Brady McWhorter at 1,600-meter run. Jaden Wolver in the 400-meter hurdles. The 4x8 team of Riley Smith, Cole Milliken, Lane Ferris, and Mason Dahlstrom were first. And the shuttle hurdle relay team of Casey Davis, Robert Brown, Will Adam, and Jaden Wolver also won. A lot of Jefferson County teams in this one. Van Buren County was also there. They got a first and a second out of Lincoln Bainbridge in the distance events. Bainbridge takes first in the 32 and second in the 16. A lot of the girls track teams were in Fort Madison for the Bloodhounds girls home invitational. These teams were split up in Class A and Class B. And we got a 1-2 finish for Mount Pleasant and Washington. The Panthers ended up getting first with 142 points, and the Demons are right behind them with 120. Fairfield, this is all in Class A, by the way. Fairfield, 61 points for 7th place. In Class B, we have Cardinal finishing 3rd, Van Buren County finishing 4th, Winfield Mount Union 5th, Highland 7th, and New London 9th. That was a pretty busy one, and it was a little bit of a busy day for some area boys golf teams on Tuesday night as they went to Notre Dame's Invitational. And we had Mount Pleasant, Winfield Mount Union, and Van Buren County all showing up. Mount Pleasant shoots .353, thanks in part to a 78 by Nate Dismang. By the way, this is an 18-hole tournament. So you'll see higher numbers here than you're used to on this show. Reese Kaufman shoots 85. Merrick Lamb shoots 93. Alec Barton shoots 97. Brody Engel 98, and Isaac Zillman 99. For the Wolves, Carter Lloyd and Cody Milks lead the way, 87 and 88 respectively. Max Edwards with a 91. Justin Knifer with a 94. Connor Kinneberg with a 98. And St. John Brown with a 99. Everybody just under 100 so far. And then Van Buren County's numbers a little more spread out. TJ Urak has a great meet, 77. Aiden McEntee goes 91. Will Cockrell, 103. Joseph Debner, 114. Aiden Cooper, 115. And Jared Griffin, 115. By the way, team scores, I think I said Mount Pleasant's 353. Winfield Mount Union, 360. And Van Buren County, 385. So, a fairly busy day there in golf. By the way, the area SEC golfers will be back in action tonight. The girls will be in Keokuk at Elks Fairview Golf Club, and the boys will be in Mount Pleasant. It is a busy day in Mount Pleasant. They got all sorts of sports going on. They will all be at Mount Pleasant Golf and Country Club. Those both start at 4 o'clock, so if you want to watch a little golf, get down to Keokuk or Mount Pleasant around 4 o'clock. Also in area tennis, we have a little SEC action again today. Mount Pleasant is going against Burlington, with the girls playing at Burlington at Dankward Park, and the boys playing at home at Eastlake Park, right next to one of the soccer games going on. So it's a little double action for you there. And At Fairfield, we've got Keokuk at Fairfield, boys tennis, and Fairfield will be heading to Keokuk for girls tennis. So all you Trojan fans, you want to go down to Keokuk tonight, you get some golf and tennis action. That's all we have for today, but it's going to be a busy Tuesday next time it rolls around because all the stuff going on tonight. And we still have more for you on Newsbreak. When we come back, Alex will have your obituaries.
In the heart of rural Iowa, where community matters most, the connections we make are made to last. Meet KCTC, your hometown internet, phone, and TV provider. At KCTC, we're not just about technology, we're about people. Our dedicated team are your neighbors, committed to bringing you top-tier services right where you live. We believe in giving back to the community that raised us. Experience the power of a real connection with KCTC. Join us in building a stronger, more connected Southeast
Hello and
Iowa.
welcome back to Newsbreak. It is now time for your obituaries. Zachary Gene Hansen of Kelowna passed away on April 6th at the age of 41. A visitation will be held from 3 to 7 p.m. on April 11th at the Yoder Powell Funeral Home in Kelowna. Donald James Peterson of Tubac, Arizona passed away on February 15th at the age of 89. That is your news for Southeast Iowa. I've been your host, Alex Snyder. This has been your News Break, and I will see you next time.